And we are live. We are
Hello.
live. Hey, 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 hey. All right, I'm gonna be watching from my screen. You know how I do. So I'm gonna be watching over here. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Look at me. I gotta turn the volume down.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, I'm going to share this out a little bit. Well, actually, I don't have to share it too much, but I'm going to share this out nonetheless. Hello, hopefully, we'll have some people to join us. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. I'm over here playing with my phone, so excuse me because I'm sharing this out. I want to make sure that I share this in other platforms. We should be not only live on my profile, but live in the group and live on YouTube. Hello, that's what
Right.
I'm talking about. So
Get it out.
I'm excited. Oh wow. So I'm gonna give everybody another minute. Hopefully we'll have some people join us shortly.
Mhm.
But I'm excited. I'm so excited tonight because this is an amazing opportunity that I've been looking so forward to in
Mhm.
just sharing the stories, the testimonies, the book projects of the 2021 cohort for the Book Inside of You um, coaching program. So I'm excited. I'm excited about everything that was going to be shared on tonight. And I'm excited about everything that, hey, y'all, let us know you're here.
Hey.
Say hello. If you would share
Here.
this out as you come in, I'd appreciate it.
Mhm.
Share this out. I love it. I
Hello,
love it. I love it. Hey,
hello,
y'all.
hello.
Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Again, if you would say hello, let us know you're here and then share this out. Hey there, Donta. We see you. We see you. Donta is
Good
here. She said,
evening. Good
she
evening.
said, yay, Tarsha P champion. We love it. Hey, Donna. Awesome, awesome. Again, if you all would just share this out, let us know you are here. We'd appreciate it. We're excited, y'all. We're excited because this is the official Authors Day View for the BIY Writers Lab coaching program. We're so thankful to have you all here. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, this is your first time on our page or first time watching. I am Candace B. Woods. I deem myself the mindset architect, and I have the pleasure and honor of helping kingdom entrepreneurs design, plan, and develop a compelling vision for their life and their businesses. And many of them start in working with me as a business coach. They start working with me as aspiring authors. And so these
Mhm.
ladies are no longer aspiring authors, right? Because now they've finished their first book and they are officially in the marketplace as emerging authors and entrepreneurs. And so I'm super excited to share these ladies with you. And so tonight, our first author that we'll be featuring is none other than Tarsha Champion. She's a children's book author. And I got my copy right here. Look, I'm not a child, but I'm keeping my copy. Hello, hello,
Always.
hello.
Always.
Always on hand, right? Always on hand.
Always. Right.
Yeah. So I have my
Always.
copy right
Yes.
here. Look, I've been promising other people this copy, but I said I'm not gonna let it go. So I'm just gonna have to order some for some people.
That's right.
All
That's
right,
right.
good
And tell them
deal.
they need some. Let me know.
That's it. I'm gonna send them
Mm-hmm.
your way. I'm gonna send them your way. Hey there, Charlotte Webb. We're so excited to have you join us. Can't wait for your interview on Friday night. All right, so good deal. We're excited to have you guys. If you would, as you come in, would you share this out with someone, especially if it's someone who may have a desire to be an author, to write a book? Maybe they're struggling with whether or not they can do this on their own. It is my sincere hope and prayer that these ladies will inspire you and encourage you to take action, because one of the things I realized is that sometimes we need to ask for help. You know, you can waste a lot of time trying to do this thing on your own. And so we want to make sure that we share out their testimonies. I want the readers of these books to get this book into their hands. And we want to inspire other authors to learn how to be entrepreneurs as well. So that's the purpose of tonight's event. I really just want to share with you all these amazing women of God who stepped out on faith, and all they knew was they had a book inside of them, right? But they really didn't know that there was a bigger vision and a bigger purpose that God was going to use, and going to launch through them and birth through them through this process. So I'm excited because we're going to get in a little bit more into Tarsha's her path and her vision moving forward. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about her book, and we're going to talk about this amazing young man here by the name of Jay. And I get so excited. And when we were just working on her book project, I could just see the vision, like just manifesting, and it was just becoming so clear. And she had a clear path and direction. And I was like, man, this is so exciting. And to see it all come to pass is just amazing. So that said, I'm just going to take an opportunity to read to you all her bio really quickly so that you'll know who you have the pleasure of meeting on tonight. Some of you are meeting for the first time. It won't be the last time, I assure you. But I'm presenting her to others because others of you have already gotten your copy. I've seen so many young people, and even some of us young at heart, taking pictures with our copies of the book and just really inspired and encouraged by the book. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read to you her bio really quickly. Okay, so Tarsha Champion, she is a wife and a mother, and she understands the power of prayer. And she wants children to know that God answers prayer no matter what the situation is. Tarsha knows that in order to be who God created us to be, we first must communicate with Him, and that's by prayer. And so I love, love, love her mission in writing this book. I love the fact, hey, Jashad, hello, hello, hello. He says, well, hey there. Look at the beautiful women. Love y'all. Hey, Jashad, we love you too. We love you too. And so we are just so excited because here we are. We're going to talk a little bit about this book, this amazing book, but then also talk about the journey. I really want us to kind of get into this journey that happens in this book. And I don't want us to give too much away for those of us who haven't got the copy, because we definitely want you to go ahead and get your copy. And by the way, you'll see this little link down here. It's called BIYauthors.com. That's where you can go right now to get your copy of Hey, Help Jay, I'm Scared of the Dark. You can get it right now. This is Tarsha's book, and so you can get your copy right now. And again, it's for the youth, children between the ages. What's the age group, Tarsha?
5 through 9.
5 through 9. So it's for children age 5 through 9, but guess what? It's also for the young at heart. Okay, it's also for the young at heart. So anyone can get their copy. All right. So let's get into it, Tarsha. Let's talk about this book. First of all, I really want to know what inspired you to write a book, specifically a children's book. What inspired you?
Okay. Um, I had started writing early, and
Mhm.
I took it and kind of, write some. Then I kind of put it off a little bit, and then I started writing some more, and I could just see the creation, in my mind, but I had to bring it to paper.
Mhm.
So I put it to the side, and I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do with it? And hey, you ask, and He will bring it to you when to do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So earlier this year, and pray and Lord, like, it's time. And I'm like, it's time for the book, time to bring it to life. I said, okay,
Yeah.
Lord, okay. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to send me some help. I said, I said, I've written some stuff. I said, but I want it to be in your order, and line up
Yeah.
with how you want it to be. In the age group.
Mhm.
This is the baby, but Lord, give me somebody who can help me.
Yeah. 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 And
You
I
have help
just
along the way.
Yeah, and I just remember, and I wasn't even really expecting it though, because like I was in prayer, um, just because I was launching this particular program. I had already
Mhm.
launched it for the year. And I wasn't really even looking for anyone else to add to the program at that particular time. But
Mhm.
I remember just being in prayer and asking God to divinely connect me with other believers who have a desire to
Mhm.
write a book, to connect me with the right people. And I remember being on a thread. I can't remember why. I just posted something. And I remember you commenting in the thread that particular day. And
Mhm.
I was just going through responding to different people, thank you for, their comments. And something said, I mean, it was just like the Spirit of God spoke to me and said, there's a book inside of her. And I remember inboxing you and saying, Tarsha, I feel like the spirit is leading me to say, to ask you, do you have a desire to be an author? And you said, yes, ma'am, I do. And it was just like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
that was such confirmation.
Yeah.
And I was so excited because I was like, okay, God, I hear you,
Mhm. Mhm.
and you were ready to go. And so we got on the call and
Yes. Yeah.
you got to work. Like you did that
Let's
thing. You
go.
did
Yes, it's time to get to work. It's
yeah, yeah,
time,
and
you
you
know?
did it. And you did it, and it was so amazing to me because typically when I get on a call with someone and this is new to them,
Mhm.
typically I don't expect for them to kind of have a whole lot of um you know they often need a lot of guidance or push.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
was not the case with you. I was like, oh, I just remember getting off that first call being like, well, dog, what she need me for? Like, she didn't really need me. Because you were like, look, I did this. I researched this today. I went ahead and
Mhm.
I looked into this and I started to think about this. And so I've
Mhm.
already, and I was just like, oh, wow. Like, I knew that this was your time because you immediately took action. And
Yes.
so I'm just so grateful and thankful. And I really want others to know that Tarsha has a heart and a passion for youth, right? Because
Mhm.
you're a youth minister. Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so you and your husband are youth ministers, my cousin.
Mhm.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
And
Look, in the background, he goes, "Hello."
and so um and so but you have a heart and a passion for youth, and
Yeah.
so your book is really about the power of prayer. So
Mhm.
could you speak on your passion when it comes to the power of prayer and why you feel that's a message that many of our youth need to understand?
Okay. Yeah. Prayer. As a child growing up, I grew up grandmother's mom, in the church. Um, Wake up on Sunday mornings. Hey, preparation on Friday, Saturday, get ready for Sunday. That's what we did. And being around them, watch them pray. And then to get the Bible and learn how to read the Bible and understand it. Knowing you can have situations and you can pray about them and God answer prayers. I'll tell anybody that, even from the youngest child up, God answers prayers. That is your communication with God. So in my heart, I knew when this book was being birthed, right now is so needed for our youth and adults to understand the power of prayer when you have so much going on in life. As you read earlier in my book description, I want kids to understand that you're little. Yes, you are. You're young, but you can also pray too. God loves children. He loves them dearly, and he listens to their prayers as he listens to our prayers. Everybody is important in God's eye. Everybody is. And you have that communication with him and know that he hears your prayer and that you can go to him in any situation. Hey, that is why this book came to birth. I want my youth to have a praying foundation. That is what I want, a praying foundation. From the youngest to the oldest, it's very important. And God is there when your parents not there, your friends, family. God will stick by you through thick and thin. And he's always there to listen to his children. That's why this book is very important.
Yeah, that I was actually thinking about my own experience, because I was just thinking about, what I was going to say, or, how I was going to, questions that I wanted to ask. And it sparked my own memory, even when I was reading your book, right? So, because I get excited when I have an author finish their book, and I get it in my hand. It's almost like, my own very own Christmas present, like on Christmas morning. And so I get so excited, but I was going through the book and it kind of took me back to my own childhood about how I wish I'd had a book like this, because, back in the day, they didn't really have a whole lot of children's books that talked about prayer or talked about, just religion or spirituality, right? So you could only get them in a Christian bookstore, right? And those were few and far between, right? Not as prominent now as the bookstores nowadays, but you will have one or two, and if you did, you have to travel a little ways to get to one in order to get it. But a lot of them there weren't children's books, and when they eventually became about, they weren't something as powerful as this, like actually teaching you how to pray. Like you started the book with the Lord's Prayer, which is one of the simplest prayers that we all can pray, and so even as adults, I think some of us would benefit from just going back and just reminding ourselves, that I may not have the words, but if I can just start with the Lord's Prayer and just get in the habit of praying, then I will begin to get into grow in that area of my life. But when I was thinking about it as a child, my parents weren't saved. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't get saved until they were in their, maybe until I was a teenager, right? We did church. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We did church. We went to church because that was what we was taught to do. Yeah. We went to church, but we didn't really practice prayer in our home until we were older, right? And so I just remember just growing up, as a teenager, and when my mom did receive Christ and became saved, that it became a practice in our home. And so that's why I love this book, because it inspires parents in a sense, right? To begin to put in practice prayer And it's inspired by their children. Because
That's right.
if they buy the book for their children are now going to want to read that book, and it
That's
almost gives them a reason to pray when they read the
they
book.
read the book.
And I
Yeah.
just love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Like, it's
You
just
know, from the beginning of the book, I'm gonna show you here, and it's for a reason why Jay is holding the globe. Jay is a child angel, which is gonna go all over the world.
Yeah.
He's going to teach kids the power of prayer. But when you open that book, like you said, start with the Lord's Prayer. I want, when a parent open that book, to read it to your babies. They go, "Oh, this is the Lord's Prayer. I don't know it, but it's here. It's helping them. It's helping their parents. It's helping that child. And not only that, when that child grows up and have other siblings, that child can take that book and read it to their siblings as well. So you're building a foundation. Your parents are building a foundation when they read the book. Starting off with the Lord's Prayer and the importance of it. You start your day off with that Lord's Prayer, watch how your day changes.
Yes.
And like I said, the foundation, you look at a house has a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, your house ain't gonna stand.
Yes.
So if you don't have a foundation of a prayer life, this house ain't gonna stand.
Teach it.
So
Teach it.
if we take my book, Learn the Lord's Prayer, you can also see the scripture. It'll tell you. Go back and read it. Pull the Bible and read it. It's in there. And the foundation that you will start seeing. Pray at night, pray in the morning, wherever you go. And you pray, you say, Lord, the simple, Lord, help me. He'll come there to help you. He will.
Yes, he will.
He's just waiting,
Yeah.
We can all have this foundation. And it's not too late for parents, guardians. Start today. Start tonight.
Yeah. That's it. I love it. Look, honey, look. I'm watching the time, but you know me, Tarsha, because honey, look. I'll get going. Look, and I already look, and I got Karen and Zenene. Like I'm trying to keep it together. I'm trying. I promise you.
Yes.
I can't make no promises, but just starting your day. I love how you said just start your day with prayer. Even if it's just the Lord's Prayer, God will meet you there. He will meet you there because God looks at our heart.
Yes.
He doesn't expect perfection. He just wants a heart that desires more of him.
Be with him.
That's it. That's it. And it's just that simple. And if we teach our children while they're younger to incorporate this into their life, their lives will be better for it. And so I love that your book inspires other children to just start with just a simple sentence prayer, or just start with the Lord's Prayer. And it makes it it makes it better for them moving forward in life. So good deal. Yeah. Well, before I let you go, because we are winding down in our time, and it went by fast, didn't it?
It did.
We're winding down in our time, but I want you to just share a little bit about your experience in the Writers Lab, right? Because I really wanted to make sure that I created a coaching program that gave a simple 5-step process to self-publishing, right? And I know your situation was a little different from others in that we did connected you with another resource that really helped on just getting the book done, right? The illustrations and the proofreading and editing, which is all a part of it. And that's the part that I want people to know. I connect you with resources. I don't actually do it myself, but I connect you with other resources that can help you get your vision done. But I help you with the vision of it, right? And so we talked a lot about that, and even the after part of the book. Once you have the book, what's next? You know, where can you go? How can you market it? What other things you can do? So could you tell us a little bit about your experience in the BIY Writers Lab?
Okay. The BIY Writers Lab was great. It was great. Coach Candace, you're a phenomenal woman. You
Oh,
are.
thank
Your
you.
strategies that you put in our hands of, how to get started. You was there when we had questions along the way. You gave us great ideas and tips to help us along the way. The group that we was in, the group of women, those are
Mm,
some blessed women. To have a connection with them as well. Today, we constantly kind of keep in contact with each other.
yeah.
We grew a
Yes.
relationship, and it's phenomenal. But the strategies that you gave in the BIY was just awesome.
Yeah.
To starting the book, aligning with the right resources, tips on mailing. You walked us along the way through the whole, from beginning to the end, and
Yeah.
even after the ending, put us in the hands with different resources. It was great. Um,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for your strategies in that BIY lab.
Oh,
And the
wow.
dedication that you give to each and every one of us, we're blessed to have you as our coach. We really are.
Mm, thank you so
You just
much.
don't know how much you bless me. My
Yeah.
book, the editing process, oh God, you put me in line with 105 Publishing.
Yeah. Shout out to
One of
them.
my
Hello.
publishing, y'all are great. The team
Yeah.
was awesome. And then I had people to ask me, out on the streets with, hey, Tarsha, who did your illustration? Hey, Tarsha, how did you get started? I said, look, I got me a coach, Coach Candace. That's She is great. And I said,
Oh, wow.
I'm so grateful. All the tools, the videos, the different tutor that you gave us is
Mhm.
phenomenal. Your skills were great. God bless
Yeah.
you. You're awesome, Candace. You
Thank you so
I
much.
would
Thank you so
tell
much.
anyone about you and your strategies. And for us, excuse me, for us coming from a small town and look at where we're going,
Wow.
you can be anybody. You can start anywhere.
Yes.
But to have you as a coach, even when we're wrong and steering wrong, you straighten us out.
I do my best.
We're on it. And
Thank you.
I tell you, I would refer for you to anybody. I
Oh,
definitely will.
wow.
I
Thank
definitely
you
will.
so much. As a matter of fact, you did refer, and I'm currently working with that particular
Oh,
author. And she is so excited. We just had our second session the other day, and she honey, she been getting it out. I was like, look, hold
hey,
me, slow down. Like, wait, I got but no, she's so inspired, and she says she's just so grateful and thankful that she connected with you,
oh,
and that you inspired her so much. And she's like she had to contact me because you spoke so highly of me. So I appreciate you so much for that.
we
And I
appreciate
love you for
you.
that
Yes,
so much.
yes.
So
So,
tell us a little bit before you go. I really want to know what's next. What's next for you, Tarsha?
woo. Jay is getting ready to go. Jay is gonna go places. I tell you, like, with God, all things are possible. Um,
Yeah.
I am going to keep the book journey going. This was my first book, my first one,
First
first book.
one.
But I am going to be doing others as well because I want this message to get out there. And as long as God keep feeding me, the word to put is going to continue to go. It's go, Jay, go.
Go, Jay, go. Look, I had to put it up there.
Hey,
Thank
you
you,
know me,
Charlotte.
I think big. I think big. So these are my
Yeah.
books. I want to take Jay to the screen. I want to take.
Yes.
I can see Jay going to a cartoon. I can see Jay being on Christian TV networks as a Christian cartoon.
You
Jay
better
is
say
gonna go
that.
places.
Jay
Yes,
is going places.
Jay is
Yes,
gonna go
ma'am.
places. Yes,
You
ma'am. He
better
is.
say that.
Then
You
I have
better.
a good coach.
I got you, boo. I got you, boo. I got you. You know I got you. You know I
Yes.
got you. And
So we
so
got
I'm
plenty of
so
work to do, you know.
yeah,
Plenty of
yeah.
work to
I'm
do.
so I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited about all that God is doing in your life. I believe there's
Mm-hmm.
so much more for you
Mm-hmm.
to do and be. And I tell all of you guys in Destiny University that God is going to blow your minds in this next season.
Yeah.
And I have a coach by the name of David Burris. And one of the things that he says to his group all the time is that if you are I believe that if you're
Mm-hmm.
connected to me, that God is going to change your life, and he's going to catapult you. And so I believe that because God is going to do great and mighty things in my life, because we
Mm-hmm.
are connected, that he is also going to allow you to exceed it and go and do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ever ask or think. And as a coach, one of the things that I desire more than anything is to make sure that those who I coach go higher and further than me. And I ain't even sweating it. You know, it's like I ain't even one of those people that try to keep you down. No, I want you to go further. Why? Because that's a testament
Mm-hmm.
to who I am as a coach.
That's right.
Right. And who God is in your life. So I'm so excited for you. You
Thank
know,
you.
these little small town girls are going big places. You know what I'm saying?
We are.
So
Yes.
I am so excited for you. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful and thankful to God that we connected.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what's next. So I'm excited and I'm ready to, keep me posted.
I
Keep me
will.
posted.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to continue to promote your book. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Tarsha Champion, she is the author of Help Jay, I'm Scared of the Dark. She's
Yeah.
the new children's author, and we're so excited for her. You can get your copy right now. You don't have to wait. You can inbox her directly
Mm-hmm.
at Tarsha Champion. Is it Tarsha P Champion as your on your page?
Yes, it's Tarsha P Champion.
Yeah, Tarsha Peak Champion. Or you can go to Amazon. You can go ahead and copy your copy at Amazon, but don't even worry about it. Because you could go to BIYauthors.com right now to get a copy of your book. And
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the thread.
All right.
So
Don't
you
wait, y'all. Do not wait. You want to go ahead and get this book in your hands and into your home.
yes,
Christmas is next week.
that's
This book
it.
will be a blessing to your children, to
Yes.
your nieces, nephews. This book will be a blessing to them. So you may want to go ahead and get it.
Get your copy. So
Mm-hmm.
we're excited. We're so grateful and thankful. Get your copy, make it as a stocking stuffer for
Yeah.
your young ones. And it's a great one. It's a great book to have. And if you're young at heart,
Get
you
it.
can get your copy too. You can get your copy too. All right. All right, Tarsha, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to bring on another amazing author,
Mm-hmm.
Miss Karen B Robertson.
Yes.
I'm going to bring her into the room so that we can chat a little bit about her book. And so, Miss Karen, if you're watching, if you can go ahead and click on that link so that there she is. She was
She's
like,
there.
"Oh, I'm ready. I am ready. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and look. I'm gonna bring her on in. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and look. I'm gonna bring her on in. All right, Miss Tarsha, we're gonna let you go. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're gonna let you go. Okay. All right, Karen, how are you?
Hi there. Good evening, Coach Candace. How are you doing? I'm great.
I'm great. I'm so excited, Karen.
Oh man, I tell you what, the energy coming off of Tarsha's interview about Jay. God is doing some amazing things, Coach, and it started
Isn't
with
he?
you. It started with you,
Oh,
though, and BIY.
look, y'all not gonna make me cry. Y'all not gonna make y'all. I'm not gonna do it. I am not
Oh,
going
well, you
to
know what? Let it
do
be
it.
tears of joy because
It
God is
is.
absolutely using you. I just feel a moving. It's like a vehicle. You get in the car and it starts to pick up steam and accelerates and it gets
Mhm.
faster and faster. And man, your destination gets closer and closer. You're the driver, Coach.
Ah! Thank you so much, Karen. I am so excited. I'm excited to talk about this book, which has been, it was just a dream. It was just a thought when we first met 3 years ago. And now it is here. It is
Yes,
here.
yes, it
Oh
is.
my goodness, Karen. So I'm excited. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it really quickly. Okay, so let me calm down. Because you know how we get when we
I
together.
know it. I know it, but it's all good. There's all positive energy and God vibes in here.
In here, you know how we get when we get together. So I'm gonna bring
Absolutely.
it down. I'm gonna bring it down. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure and the honor of introducing you to author Karen B. Robertson, also known as the founder of KBR Speaks. Honey, look, let me tell you, I had the honor of being asked to speak at Karen's event roughly about a month ago, a little over a month ago. And Karen, look, I'm gonna cry. So I'm trying not to, but
Don't cry, Coach.
this is
Don't
the
cry.
thing. No, because I mean, like you were like one of the first clients for me in my relaunch of my business as a full-time entrepreneur. I shared the story about how I had just moved home, kicking and screaming.
That's right.
I just moved back home to Georgia, kicking and screaming. I did not want to move back home, but I felt led to do so. My accountability partners and I prayed about it, and it was just like the doors were closing. And so, anytime you realize or you start to see doors closing in your life, you recognize that God wants to do something new. And sometimes God has to kind of push you out of the nest in a sense. And so I believe that's what God was doing in my life at that time. And I was reminded of a prayer that I prayed years before that, that I prayed and asked God to give me a platform where I could fulfill my purpose and get paid to do it. And he was doing it, and I was kicking and screaming. I wasn't ready, but
That's
he was like, "Yes, you are. You're ready." And so I moved home. I launched my business. I connected with my cousin who knew you, and we were just talking. And one day, and he said, "You know what? I think you were his boss at the time. I told my boss today about you, and she really wants to meet you. She wants to meet you." And so he connected us, and we met, and the connection was instant.
absolutely.
And I left that first meeting just like wondering, like, because anybody who knows Karen, first of all, let me tell you, she's charismatic, she's fun, she's so friendly. People in her community know her and love her, and I was just watching just how she connected with people. It didn't matter what color, what race, like she connected with everybody as they are, because they are children of God, right? And that's just how she connected with everybody. And I was just literally sitting there wondering to myself, like, what on earth does she need with me?
I needed you.
Oh, and I needed you too. And I don't think it was until we began to work together, and God began to speak to me about you and your life, and we began to just connect. We prayed together, and we began to literally begin to birth the vision that God had for you. And we talked about some things that kind of were holding you back,
Yes.
keeping you stuck. And so we worked through those things together.
Excellent.
And I began to understand what it is that you really, why you needed me, but I also began to understand that I needed you as well, because you were able to unlock my own gifts in a sense, just by working with you, and just by speaking with you and just hearing, um, the words of inspiration that you gave me, when we met. And so I'm just so grateful and thankful for you. And y'all, I'm not going to take too much of y'all's time, but I just had to let you all know just how amazing and how grateful I am to have connected with Karen. So let me introduce Karen. Let me formally introduce you all to Karen B. Robertson. Okay. Karen B. Robertson is a dynamic motivational speaker. Yes, she is, because I've heard her. Professional trainer. Yes, she is, because I've experienced those. An empowering leadership skills mentor. She has inspired hundreds of individuals to believe they can transform and grow from wherever they are in life and begin to live out their God-given potential and purpose. Karen is a lifelong learner who values family, enjoys the outdoors, loves to dance like no one is watching, and
That's right.
has an avid appreciation for cross-cultural food and music. Well, look at you. Look at
Yeah.
you. So here we have, you guys, the author of Epiphany, the journey to finding the real you, Miss Karen B. Robertson. So if you would just take a moment to congratulate her, say hello to her in the chat. We appreciate you guys for being with us. If you're just joining us, then you are watching the interview 2 of the Authors Day View, the BIY Authors Day View, where we have the lovely Karen B. Robertson. So Karen, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing amazing. I am doing fantastic. And I wanted to say this really quickly before we begin talking about my book, if I may. You talked about something that I think is really important for those of us who are participants in the Book Inside of You cohort or program and a part of Destiny University, which is BIY is one of the programs under Destiny University. And I think it's really, we would be remiss if we didn't take this opportunity to say that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of coaches or empowering speakers or strategists or business coaches in the world. Everyone is trying to find their lane, do their thing, and find their niche and find those who are their connection, their tribe, right? But it's not, so that's not something new. What is new is when you really can identify that person or those persons, that program, that coach to whom you are ordained to be connected to, who you are divinely ordained to be connected to. And I want to take this moment to thank God for allowing me to be put in a scenario where I was divinely connected to Candace Woods and divinely connected to her and her vision of Destiny University and a program through Destiny University, which is the Book Inside of You program. There are so many people that can motivate you to do a lot of things, and you leave away inspired and ready, thinking that you're going to do what you need to do. But unless you are walking in the lane or the plan to which God has ordained for you, it won't come to fruition. Some things may happen. Some things may take place. They may shake, as the kids say, make some things shake. But you won't ultimately walk in your divine purpose unless you're connected to who you're supposed to be. And I firmly believe without a doubt that I was to be connected to Candace And you said it, you confirmed it, that it was me thinking I was seeking you out to help unlock my gifts and to push past those things that were holding me stagnant and holding me back. But not only that, through that, we were being a blessing to you, each of those of us who
Yeah.
were participating, allowing you to further develop those wonderful gifts that were inside of you that God
Yeah.
had entrusted you with. And so I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you.
Oh,
And
thank you so
to give
much.
God the glory for that, for you being in position,
Mm.
ready. You said yes. God gave me this quote, and I've been using it for myself. And I think I shared it with you when you and I spoke several weeks back, a week or
Mhm.
so back. But
Mhm.
you said yes one day so that others behind you could give birth to their future. You're
Mhm.
saying yes to God and his plan 3, 4, 5 years ago gave us what we needed to be able to launch our future. So thank you for that. Yes, 3 to 5 years ago. Thank you
Yes,
for that. It
thank
was through
you.
that I
Oh,
could now
wow.
sit here as the author of Epiphany.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are the author of Epiphany. I'm telling you guys. Now, look, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for that. Thank you for that. But I just want you all who are watching right now to just understand, um, just how amazing God is, because um Epiphany was literally your you documenting your journey, because I have the pleasure oftentimes of reading your books before they're printed, right? And so you submitted drafts to me just to kind of get me to look through it and to look over it, but it's still nothing like the full version of the book. Like, I'm just telling you all, like, I got bits and pieces along the way, but and I haven't finished reading her book, but I am just so inspired, because this is like the end result, Karen, compared to those the drafts, the here and there. I mean, it is literally a life-changing tool and resource that I encourage any of you who are watching, who are trying to who are seeking God for your purpose and clarity about your purpose, and understanding how to utilize your gifts and your talents and apply it to your life, and how literally God can have you working in the midst of like using your gifts where you're planted, and it may not be where you want to be.
That's right.
It may not be where you want to be, but still God is birthing something amazing through you. And I just love how you have been able to take that, and you're so transparent in sharing your journey with others. And so that leads me to asking you the question, why did you write this book? Why did you write Epiphany?
So I wrote Epiphany because many years ago I knew I wanted to author a book. I knew 10, 15 years ago that there was a book inside of me. I wanted to release this baby that was in me, and I just did not know how. I felt like there were words and stories and experiences that I could share that could help someone. And I knew that a book would be a way of putting those things together in one collective body and
Mhm.
being able to share that with the world. What did that book look like? Epiphany didn't come to an epiphany until probably about really 3 years ago. I knew that I wanted to go into business and do something with the gifts that God had given me. Um, but I just didn't know what that would look like. And so through a lot of prayer, through a lot of coaching, through a lot of mindset restructuring, and it's a process, guys, which is why the book says journey.
Yes.
It's never ending. It's something that's taking place with me every day. And so I knew that I had to get this out of me.
Mhm.
And really, really my defining moment to answer your question, my defining moment was during the pandemic when I realized that life, I knew this already, right? But I realized even the more during the pandemic that life is as a vapor or a
Mhm.
mist. Things could change so quickly. You're here one moment, you're gone the next. And
Mhm.
Candace, I was afraid. I
Mhm.
was afraid to go to my grave with all of these feelings and hopes and dreams and goals and this book
Mhm.
inside of me and never be released. And I thank God, because I'm not afraid to give him the credit because he gets all of the glory. I don't care
Mhm.
how much of a professional I think I am or how many accolades or accomplishments I receive. It is him. It is
Yes.
it is him that has allowed this to come to completion and given the capstone, if you will.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had to write this book to share these experiences. And I didn't realize that there were so many people that were waiting on the words that were on my heart to be
Yeah.
just
Yeah. And I love that, Karen, because I think sometimes we can often feel like nobody's listening and nobody's watching and don't nobody need what I have. But it's amazing to me how just out of simple obedience to God, he will begin to reveal to you the people who need exactly what you have. And so there, that leads me to a part of your book where you talk about um, what's in your hands, right? What's in your hands? All of us have exactly what we need to be successful, and it's in our hands, but I don't think we always understand that. So can you talk to the people a little bit about what's in your hands and why that's so significant?
absolutely. We are so trained to watch and mimic what other people do. And I think it's just natural that we start to the cliche says birds of a feather flock together, right?
Mhm.
So if they're doing something, maybe I should be doing it. If they're wearing this, I should be wearing that. If they're talking about this, perhaps I should be talking about that, but not realizing that everything that we need to fulfill the real person that we are,
Mhm.
the destiny that's inside of us is already within our reach. It's
Mhm.
in our hands. All of our experiences, all of our giftings, all of our talents, those things are right at our disposal. The
Mhm.
problem is that we never, I'm not going to say never, I'm not going to use the word never, but we often don't know how to tap into those gifts,
Yeah.
or we're not sure of the gifting. We're not
Mhm.
confident of the gifting. We know that something is there. We know that there's an ability there. But in watching everyone else utilizing their talents or their gifts, it can sometimes push us in a position where we're not really sure
Mhm.
about what we have,
Mhm.
that we're not really confident about what we have. And so we shrink back from standing out and launching out or stepping out and just
Mhm.
trying to do something. But everything that you need to be successful, everything that you need to walk in your purpose is already at your disposal. And so through my book, I try to help my readers get to a point where they can begin to identify what those things are. And it's through questions, it's through me sharing my stories and my personal revelations of how I was able to arrive at that I'm hoping that readers will get an understanding. Look, who wants to be stuck? Who
Mm.
wants, who wants to be in a place where you're like a gerbil and you're on a wheel and you're just going around and around and never arriving at anything,
Yeah.
never arriving at any success point? Everything you need is in your hands.
It's in
You'll
your
have to get
hands.
my book to understand what that means.
I love it. I love it. Look, I tell you, like, and I love the fact I went through it, and even though I knew it was coming, right, but it's still just something about seeing it there. I love the self-assessment section. I love the questions, just the journal section. Just, you're really, and I know because you are a lot like me. and you love to have the people who are in your presentations and in your trainings to interact, like you're an interactive trainer. And
Absolutely.
so I love the fact that you brought that perspective into your book as well, to help us really start thinking through and processing through where we are in life and what's keeping us stuck and what's keeping us held back. But then also thinking about, where we want to go. What is the vision? Are we clear about it? What can we use to get there? And so I love that you give us that win in knowing, you know what, you really ain't got to dig that deep. It's already in your hands. It's at your reach. And if you just take a moment to stop overthinking, because that's in the book too, y'all. She talks about overthinking, right? And so if you really just take a moment to just stop overthinking it, you will realize that all of your skill sets, you've been using your gifts and not getting paid for it, or not getting
Absolutely.
paid your worth,
That's
right? You've
that's
been
right.
using your gifts and talents, and you've been able to develop a skill set just on your day jobs. There's a saying that I got, it's a quote that I've heard before, and I wish I knew who said it, because it's not mine and I'm not going to take credit. But they say, your job can be a silent investor into your purpose and your destiny. And so a lot of times we get on these jobs and we like, oh Lord, I hate it. I hate being here. And, I wish that I could do something else. But God will strategically place us on assignments where we are so that He can get us the skills and He can birth the gifts inside of us and teach and show us what's in us so that He can allow us to use it on our journey to the next thing. And so I think that's definitely my path. I can attest to that and testify to that in my journey, and I think you can as well. So I love how you're able to help guide us through the processing of our journeys to help us really come to that place of an epiphany, right? And just
Absolutely.
come into to that revelation, and that awareness, that we ain't got to overthink it. It's really right at our reach. And so if you just take a moment and just spend some time with God and just get clear about your path, then your epiphany is right at your reach, and it can happen for you as well.
Absolutely.
So
Spend some time with yourself. Spend some
yes,
time with you.
yeah.
A lot of times I don't even think we know who we are,
Mm-hmm.
which is a big part of needing to have that epiphany moment.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot walk, listen to me. You cannot walk in your purpose. You will never be able to walk in your true purpose if you don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times and I heard someone say this, I read this somewhere, as a matter of fact, it's not about becoming something, it's about unbecoming.
Mm.
Unbecoming those things that we had taken on that were not even us.
Yeah.
We fit ourselves to these molds to fit in on our jobs or in professional settings or in social settings. They're not even who we are.
Yeah.
So,
That's
the
good.
book is really about the epiphany of
Mm.
unbecoming all of those things that people assume that you were, and being true and real to who you are.
Yeah.
And look, our life experiences, I talk about it in my book. I talk about things I did when I was a kid, things that happened to me in my teenage years, um, experiences that I had, that I tried to shy away from. But really, if I had have embraced them, they would have helped me to unbecome these things that
Mm-hmm.
I tried to take on, and become the real me. And so through this journey, it may take some tears. It may take some nights of crying and soaking your pillow or isolating yourself,
Yeah.
getting by yourself. It's going to get you to the point where you are enjoying who you are,
Yeah.
embracing who you are, and learning how
Mm-hmm.
to walk in that, and therefore ultimately being able to walk in your true purpose. And I'm telling you, I'm excited. I read my own book and get excited.
Hello, you
And I
better.
and that's not an ego thing. That's
Yeah.
thank you, God. You allowed me to have that awakening moment, that illuminating
Mm-hmm.
moment, that
Mm-hmm.
discovery moment. And it was through participating in the BIY program that all of that was able to really come to the surface and
Yeah.
come to light.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. So Karen, I want you to share with others out there who are listening, who are watching, and maybe they're watching and they are in need of an amazing motivational speaker, or they, have a group of individuals that they feel that you will blessed bless their lives and be able to help them reach their discovery moment or their epiphany moment. So tell us what you have coming up next in 2022, because I know that you have some exciting things coming, but just give them a little bit, Karen, because we can't tell them all. But what do you have coming up in the upcoming year?
We absolutely can't tell it all, but you know what? If you don't talk about it, the people won't know. So
That's it.
thank you for the opportunity to share very briefly and to give just some little tidbits and snippets. I'm absolutely going to continue to talk about Epiphany because you know
Yeah.
what? I think that people get arrested in a life that they shouldn't be living. They
Mm-hmm.
get trapped in a life they shouldn't be living, and it's through that they're able to break free from that and walk in liberty and walk in the
Mm-hmm.
real person that they are. So I'll continue
Yeah.
through author talks. I'll be doing several author talks, both virtually and in person. Several in January that I'll be doing. I'm really excited about that. But
Yeah.
even more than that, working on, and I'm only going to give y'all a little bit because it's going to have, I'm so excited about it. It just makes me almost salivate to think about what God is getting ready to do with this. But pulling pieces out of my book, I'm going to be hosting something in a very intimate setting in the next couple of months.
Yes.
It's going to be registration only, and
Yeah.
there's going to be very few spots available. So as soon as you get the announcement that this intimate session with Epiphany is going to be coming out, I'm going to need for you to reserve your spot. But it's going to be an opportunity for the person who wants to look deeper and more introspectively into their journey to finding the real you. There's through partnerships, oh my God, through partnerships and collaborations. Look, God will send you the people that you need. He will wake you up in the middle of the night and give a name to you, and you will call that person, and that person will say, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell me what the price is, tell me how much. And so there's going to be an intimate session, actually a working session through my book Epiphany coming in the next couple of months. So please be on the lookout on my social media pages for that. That'll be both on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And then, in the future, Coach and I have been talking about some things, some women's events. I don't know what all God is going to do, and I'm not going to get ahead of him. I'm going to continue working behind him, but stay tuned. If you are
Yeah.
looking to kick off the new year with some fresh goals, with fresh vision, some fresh ideas for where you're going to go in the year, you're going to want to be in this session that's going to be kicked off in the first couple of months of the year. So just stay tuned to that.
Yes, ma'am. I love it. I love it. I had to kind of like, mention that. You know what I'm
Exactly,
saying? Because
exactly.
I'm telling you, people need this, and sometimes we don't know we need it until we need it, right?
That's
So,
right.
and so we want to make sure that others know that that these opportunities are going to be available. Karen is open for booking, honey. Yes, she is. She's open for booking. And so you can always contact her here on social media, Karen B. Robertson. You can also go to KarenBRobertson.com just to connect with her to purchase your copy of the book. And while you're here, you might as well just go ahead and get your copy and go directly on over to BIYAuthors.com. That's where you can purchase all of the books from the authors who are going to be featured in the Authors Day View. This is something I do annually on an annual basis because I really want to just really love on and share the authors who finished the program, to let people know that it's possible. You can do this, and you can also connect with others along the way as well. And so I love you, Karen. I thank
Love
you
you
so
too.
much for being here
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
sharing.
I just want to say this last thing because I know we have other authors that are coming on, but if you are looking for a group that will give you some great accountability, a group who will give you some good peer learning, who will
Mm-hmm.
support you, who will pray with you, who will praise with you, who will cry with you, um, who will help you to the end, who will share resources, you're going to want to get that book out of you, that book that's inside of you, out of you through the BIY program. There's some amazing women in this group who I've never met personally, but are now lifelong sisters,
I
lifelong friends.
know.
I'm telling you, it's a divine connection. You won't be disappointed. It's an investment in yourself that you need to make if you believe that God is telling you there's a book inside of you.
Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate you for that. I do. And y'all, I did not pay her to say that.
You did not.
Thank you so much, Karen. I love you and I
Love
appreciate
you
you.
too.
All right.
Thank
You have a
you.
good night.
You too.
All right. All right, you guys, we're just so excited for Karen, and even I'm getting even more excited because I have another author that I'm going to be sharing with you, just to piggyback really quickly on what Karen just shared. Destiny University is my business academy, and I absolutely adore the business academy that God has allowed me to birth. And so DU is my business academy for kingdom entrepreneurs and servant leaders. And I have the pleasure of just sharing with them tools and strategies that they can utilize and apply to their life and their businesses. And we focus primarily on mindset. We focus primarily on mindset and vision development. And so many of them are startups, but then also some of them are emerging entrepreneurs and have been in this game for a minute and needed just a push, or needed to kind of rethink their business model, or just needed to concentrate on their mindset. Y'all, I'm at home, so excuse the telephone. But anyway, they needed just some support and extra assistance and guidance. And sometimes we need community. And so Destiny University is my way of not only teaching kingdom principles in business, and also helping my clients to develop a vision for their life, but it's also a way for us to come together as a community of believers. And like Karen said, we pray together, we fast together, we learn together, we bounce ideas off of each other, we support each other. And so it's an amazing program. And so I am actually in the process of kind of upgrading that particular program. But if you're interested in more information on on Destiny University or the BIY program, reach out to me, or you can go to my website, CandiceBWoods.com. It's there on the screen right there. And you can go on over and you can either inbox me for more information, or you can just go to my website and you can look through that information there. And you can go ahead and sign up, and you can go ahead and invest. I promise you, it is a great investment, and you will be blessed by it. Okay. All right. So I'm excited because I'm about to bring on another amazing author. Y'all, I tell you the truth, like I just love these ladies. They are amazing. And the more I think about it, I'm like, I haven't met a lot of them in person yet, but I feel like I have. I feel like I know them. And so it's just an amazing thing to me how God can give you a vision. He can give you a plan. He can speak to you about a thing. And then all I did was just shared it. I just shared it. I just put it out. I was just obedient. I didn't even really have it all together. I didn't really know if it was going to really work. But God blessed me to meet amazing women like Karen and Tarsha. But this next author that I have coming on, her name is Zenene Humphrey-Davis. Hey, Zenene.
Hey, how are
And
you?
so Zanine and I, wow, we met. I don't even know how we met. We just kind of met on social media. I think I was doing something, a live or something, and I think you inboxed me or you joined my group. But anyway, we connected, and honey, like we've been connected by the hip ever since. And so you are another amazing woman of God that I've been able to connect with. They're giving you shout outs over here. Donna says, hey, Zanine.
Hi,
Tarsha
girl.
says, hey. Charlotte says, hey. I know we've been missing her, y'all. Haven't we been missing her? And she's been a busy lady. Look, she's been
Man.
busy. She's been busy. So yeah, so Zanine and I met roughly it's been about 3 years now, I
Yeah.
think. And so we connected, and it's just been an amazing experience. And so you all, I want to introduce you all to Zanine Humphrey-Davis. She is the author of The Water is Troubled, Jump In, Breaking Out of Stagnation. And honey, let me tell you, this book is small, but it's mighty. It's powerful. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So I'm super excited to have you on this evening, Zanine. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. And so I want the people to really hear a little bit about your story. But first, let me read to you all her bio, okay? So Zenene Humphrey-Davis was born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama. She graduated magna cum laude from Alabama State University. She is a wife and mother of 3 who found her purpose through prayer, confessing the word of God, and believing what God says about her. She is a domestic violence survivor who is now the executive director of a program serving other survivors. And so we are excited to have Zanine on tonight. Zanine, welcome to the platform. I'm so excited to have you. And so you guys, as I stated before, Zenene and I met online, even though we lived I lived in Montgomery for a while, but we met online and we were able to connect and grow an amazing relationship. And I want to say this, and I want others to kind of hear me when I say this. Sometimes the thing that you're dealing with the most is the thing that God will use to
Yes.
bless your life.
Yes.
Won't he do it?
In more than one way.
And so this is a testament to how you can sometimes go through something in your life and and sometimes you're wondering, like, why am I so stuck in this place? Why do I keep going through the same thing? Why can't I break out of this? Right. And so I tell my my clients, and I don't even like calling y'all clients anymore because y'all are more than that to me, right? But I tell all of you in DU, the thing that you're dealing with, teach it, and then follow the process, right? Follow the process, be a practice what you preach, and then you'll lead yourself out of it and have others who will come with you along the way. And so in business, and especially as being an influencer, one of the things that I hear a lot of people talk about is how you have to be an expert at something, right? And I'm just like, no, you ain't got to be an expert. You sometimes you need to lead by example, and admit, hey, and be transparent, say, hey, you know what, I struggle with this thing too, but together we can come out of this. And I believe that's what God has called you to do through this book, Zenene. So that said, talk to us a little bit about why you wrote this book.
Well, it's just like what you said, when you struggle with something and you start to look at, okay, how did I come out of this the last time? Or when I
Mhm.
was, for example, prior to um moving away and accepting a position in a new area and just kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone, and then watching God move in my life like speedily, like,
Mhm.
you know with promotion after promotion, and thinking about, okay, how did I do that time? Well, the steps, and those are the things I talk about in my book, like
Mhm.
the prayer, the worshiping, the getting rid of all the noise that's in your life,
Mhm.
and just list of different things of ways that I saw him move in my life and push me into that path, that purpose that he had for me. And so just doing
Yeah.
the same thing is almost like repeating what works. That's
Yeah.
what helps you get out of stagnation, repeating what has worked, thinking about what God did before,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
utilizing that same path. So
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And even that even aligns with what you do in your day job, in work, as far as you being a survivor, and how now you're able to lead other people out of their dark situations in their life, because you have a different way of, or you have a way to relate to them that others may not have. And so I believe that God was strategic, in placing you in the position as executive director, because you have the ability to empathize and sympathize with other survivors, in a way that really connects them, with the process that they need in order to continue to survive and move forward. But not only that, you are a believer. Like, y'all, let me tell y'all something about this quiet, this quiet, this she's quiet, honey, but don't let the smooth taste fool you, honey. She is powerful. When I tell you, Zanine is a powerful woman of God. And I just believe that she is anointed, so anointed that in her presence in a room fills the room, and she brings God into the room with her. And so, and I know, and she probably wouldn't even expect me to say that, but I just believe that about her. And I just believe that God is intentional, because he's placing many of us, um from the back of the line to the front of the line. And I believe that that's what God is doing in your life right now. So that leads me to the question, like, what did you have in mind when you wrote, or who did you have in mind when you wrote this book? When you were thinking about who you wanted to read this book, who did you have in mind?
I mean, people just like me, a believer, but still has struggled with moving forward into purpose, hearing from God about what my purpose is and being able to take steps towards that. And so just like I said, people like me who are believers, who trust God, but at the same time needed to utilize like practical ways to just be able to move forward, because God is always speaking.
Mhm.
So we just have to, like I said before, we have to quiet the noise and be able to hear his voice and know which directions he's leading us, so we don't miss what he has for us. And so, like I said, just people like me who found themselves stuck and was like, there's got to be something else. You
Yeah.
know that God has something in you. You know that it's something he wants to get out. You
Yeah.
may not know exactly who it's for, but the thing about God is he'll show you
Yeah.
after you're obedient and you take the steps,
Yes.
you move into it and you trust him, you'll start seeing the
Yeah.
purpose for it all. Like literally. And so, I mean, even with my book, just getting the feedback from those he intended it for, you know, he intended it for them. I may
Yeah.
not have necessarily had certain individuals in
Mhm.
mind, but he did. And
Yeah.
so it makes it all, it makes it all come together. We just have to be obedient and
Be
go ahead and
obedient.
move.
Yes, ma'am. And you talk about that in your book, where you talk about obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. And I truly believe that as well, because like you said, we don't always know. We can just be led or prompted in a direction, and it may not always make sense. And I just remember when we were starting this out, and you said, I know that I have a book inside of me, and God wants me to write this book. And you kept saying, but I don't think I have enough. I don't think I'm gonna have enough to write in a book. I don't think I'm gonna be able to have enough, content for a full book. And so we talked about the size of the book, and you was like, at first you wanted a full book, then you said, well, Coach, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough for a full book, because and I said, you know what? Yes, you do. Let's just put it in a smaller size book. But anyway, you ended up going with the average size book in the end, because then God began to speak to you and give you other things that you could share and add into the book. And so, and that's one of the reasons why I love being able to I love the content, just the pre-recorded content that I placed inside a book inside of you. And I know that it's helpful, but I really believe that the best value is really the VIP program, which is what you and the other ladies, many of the other ladies engaged in, where you got to do that one-on-one time with me, and we were able to really just talk about some things that you were struggling with, moments when we kind of struggled with our mindset and we weren't confident about it, but we were able to kind of push through some of those moments. And I was even able to kind of, gauge for you, how you could utilize the very experiences that you were in
Yeah.
your book, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing how God gives us. Karen just talked about it. What you need is already in your hands. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just amazing to me how God will do that sometimes. And we can miss it if we're not careful. We can miss it if we're not careful. So, talk to me and share a little bit about your experience in the book inside of you Writers Lab. Like, how was that for you?
So the first thing I'll say is that what I definitely learned is that everything I needed was there, but it was all about what I was willing to give as well. Because the information was there, you were there. There was never a time that I, needed you that you weren't there. Whether it was I was stuck trying to figure out if I really wanted to do this, or whatever it was, you were there. So everything that I needed was there, but it also fell upon myself, whether or not I was willing to put in the work, willing to sit down and do the writing, willing to, do the pre-recorded videos, and then willing to participate in the sessions, where we actually got to work on our books or whatever it is we needed to work on. So the more I put into it, the more progress I saw. But again, the experience was great because there were moments when I needed to reach out. I'm like, I'm having a horrible time right now. Like, I just need to talk. And you were there. You prayed with me. You talked with me. By the time we got off a session, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to write a whole another 10 pages. So my experience was great. But again, it is all about what you put in it as well, because everything is there for you. You just got to make sure that you're in as well.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, because there were some moments along the way that the enemy would send attacks,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that wasn't just with you. It was many people many of the ladies in the group, like I think literally with the group that was started with you, it was like everybody would show up one week, one month, everybody was on the call, everybody was engaged and moving forward. And then all of a sudden I'm like, nobody's here. What happened? What's going on? And so immediately it would prompt in my spirit to reach out to everybody. And it would seem like everybody was dealing with something.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-uh. devil, enemy, I see you. I see you. And I would call a fast. And I remember calling a fast and prayer for all of us because I knew we were struggling. And it wasn't just you all, we were all kind of just being attacked. And that's how I knew this was supposed to be birth, because the enemy don't bother nobody who ain't doing that.
You're right.
He ain't bothering nobody who ain't doing nothing. And the fact that everybody, yeah, Karen said, I remember that. Yeah. Because we were all, it was all of us. And I was like, I'm tired here. So we went into spiritual warfare. And that's what I love about Destiny University. And I'm so grateful and thankful that God impressed upon my heart to just be authentically me, to be led by him. I tell anybody that knows me, look, God is in the forefront of what I do. It just is what it is. I'm grateful that I've had coaches that I've connected with who have the same desire to make sure that we are kingdom minded. But I'm telling you, attacks will come. So for those of you who are listening and watching and you're saying, you know what, I really have a book that I want to birth, but I just don't know if I'm gonna find the time. I don't know if, and I'm kind of afraid of what people are gonna say. Look, listen. I'm a coach, and I love my people, but one thing I'm not gonna let you do is come to me with excuses.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
We don't do excuses over here. We are on assignment. We are on assignment. And I tell everybody, look, we're not finna let the enemy win. So what we got to do? What we got to do to make this happen?
Yes.
What we got to let go of? What do we have to do more of? Do I need to come to Auburn? She never made me have to come to Auburn.
Almost.
But she knew I would. She knew I would. Yes, ma'am. I'm coming. What we got to do? But that's the thing. And even there were moments when I believe, the enemy knew he couldn't get you because he knew that you were standing on the word of God, but he would try to attack your children and others around you. But I'm just so grateful that you were able to persevere. You pushed through it. You pushed forward. And honey, look, you broke out of that stagnation.
Man, the thing about it is, whether it's writing a book, whether it's doing, ministry, whatever it may be, I think, and I discussed some of it in my book as well, we have to learn how to deal with the warfare and press past it, because it's definitely coming.
Yes.
It's coming. You might as well expect it. But you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving, keep going.
Yes. Yeah.
The end result is worth it. To be able to put a book that I wrote in my father's hand, in my mother's hand, in my sister, my niece, my nephew, my great aunts. There's no feeling like it. Like,
yeah. And and you mentioned family members, but God has taken it a step further, honey. Like, and this is what I want us to understand as well. And I didn't really get into this with the other ladies because right before I hopped on, Tarsha shared that she sold over 200 copies of her book.
Wow.
Y'all, and Tarsha launched her book in September, October, maybe. 200 copies of her book is now in the hands of other children. 200 copies in such a small period of time. She's never written a book before. This is her first book, right? And so just those simple strategies and applying those simple strategies and putting ourselves out there, right? I know Zenene, y'all. Let me tell y'all a little bit. Zenene, she's quiet, right? I said she's quiet. She's a lot like me. I know it may not seem like it, but she's an introvert. She, and she's just one of those, just those small but mighty women, right? And so she don't say much, but when she says it, she means it, right? And so but she's not one to really like put a whole lot of stuff on social media. She's not one of those social media people, but she knew because her coach told her to. Look, Zanine, you got to get more of a presence. I need for you to show up a little bit more. Every now and then do a live, and so she just started to do it. And so she trusted me enough to do it, right? And then not too long ago, someone goes on her page and notices that she's written a book, and now they want to bless her life.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God. Not only that, tell the people a little bit about the group that you were able to support not long ago.
Okay. So yeah, one of the employees at the agency that I lead purchased my book. And she read it and she was so blessed by it that she shared it with, she has a like a Bible study group that meets in her home, and she decided to share the book with the group. And so they decided to do like a small group, Bible study using my book. And they've literally they've been acting out the different processes. So like in my book, one of the steps, acts of faith, that I talk about is writing down those excuses that have been keeping you stuck, and destroying them, tearing them up, whatever it takes, and just release that, and allow that to be an act of faith. And so they actually went outside and they wrote their excuses down as a group, and they went outside and they burned them. And it was just amazing just to see that people I've never met, that I don't know. I know her, but I don't know, any of the people in the group. And just to see that was just amazing. And it was like, really, like in that moment, I was like, okay, I see it. And just to hear, the testimonies from that and from her, from the group, and that they're meeting next week and they're going to wrap up the book and they're going to, do reviews and stuff. And it was just amazing. I was in awe.
Don't you love it? And I was like, when she told me that, y'all, like, literally, look, I'm over here kind of tearing up now, because y'all, I mean, I'm so passionate about what I do, but to really just see the manifestation and the results that all of you are getting. And y'all, I mean, I did my part, but it's really just connecting. When you connect with the purpose and plan that God has predestined for your life, when you connect with that and you own it and you walk it out in obedience. You may not have all the details figured out, but when you just walk in obedience, you'll begin to see why God had you go through what you went through.
Yes.
And then you'll begin to see how your testimony and your obedience will help other people break free from the very thing that he blessed you to come out of. And that's what this is really all about. That's how you know you've tapped into your purpose. That's how you know that you tap into your purpose. When other people are being blessed, when other people are getting results, when other people are drawing closer to Christ, that's how you know you've tapped into your purpose. And so I am so proud of you, Zenene. I'm so excited about where God is taking you. I'm excited about the divine connections that are going to come your way, that are coming your way and going to continue to come your way. And I just believe that God has just has so many amazing things in store for you. So you guys, if you're struggling with being stuck and stagnant, and you're ready to break out of stagnation, and you're ready to get rid of those excuses,
Yes.
and walking out and live out your divine purpose, I want you to go ahead and go to BIYauthors.com, get a copy of your book, get a copy of your book. If you have a small group, get one for your whole group, right? If there are ministries out there who do small groups, Zenene would love to come in and to support you all and lead small groups, and also share her book and share her testimony with you all as well. So I'm excited for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited
Thank
for
you so
you.
much.
And I love you, and I
Love you
appreciate you
too.
so much. And so thank you so much for being here tonight. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for your
right.
support. Love you.
Bless you. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. So that is it for tonight. That's it for tonight. But I'm so incredibly thankful and grateful for those of you who were able to join us on tonight. I hope that this was a blessing to you, and I hope that you were inspired. And I hope that you are just led by God to find your divine purpose, to begin to seek God for clarity and understanding about what your purpose is, and also begin to learn how to use your pain for purpose. I think that's a testament that all of these ladies can share. Moving forward, that they are able to use their pain for purpose, and they're able to do some amazing things they're led by God to do. So that said, if you are someone who has a desire to write a book, I want to invite you to join me in the BIY Writers Lab, which is one of the programs that I host in Des University, which is my business academy for kingdom entrepreneurs and servant leaders. And so in the BIY Writers Lab, you will learn and you will engage in my 5-step process to plan, write, design, publish, and promote your book in 6 months or less. And so I connect you with resources. I coach you not only in going through the process that I share with you, the 5-step process, but I also help you design a vision around your book. So you don't just come in aspiring to become an author. You learn how to become an authorpreneur, and you learn how to build your business on the principles of God. And so we talk about your vision moving forward. We not only talk about writing your book and getting it done, but we also talk about what can you do and how can you leverage your book to bring in income into your business, and thereby income into your life, right? And so we want to make sure that you are living out your God-given purpose. And many of us, if we're honest with ourselves, our testimony and the things that we're going through is the very thing that God wants to use in order to bless your life. And so some of us struggle with understanding that. And so therefore we avoid it, or we run from it, instead of embracing it and knowing that God can use it all for your good. And so those are the things that we talk about in Des University. But more specifically, we talk about not only your book, but how do you leverage your book in order to begin to live out your purpose and to get your book into the hands of those who need it. And also how you can establish a platform around it. And so I love what I do. If you can't tell, I don't know why, but I love what I do. I love when God connects me with other amazing believers in business. And I love to be able to help you begin to birth your vision, and just really and truly connect with God on another level. And so I'm excited for you all. If you have a desire to write a book, you believe that there's a book inside of you, then I want you to join me over in the BIY Writers Lab. You can go to my website. It is CandiceBWoods.com. I'm going to put it down on the screen for you. So go to CandiceBWoods.com and you can simply just go on over to the Writers Lab tab, the BIY Writers Lab tab. You can also go ahead and connect with me and schedule a clarity call. And I'm going to place that link in the thread for you. Sometimes it's just easier for you to just kind of speak with me to get an idea on how to get started. And sometimes writing a book may not be necessarily the best place to get started. So it's helpful to get on a clarity call so that I can share with you the other programs and services that I have that might be beneficial to you in your journey. Okay. But most people in working with me, they start out in writing a book and then we work from there. So I want you to go ahead and just schedule a time to speak with me. I'll be happy to share with you how you can get started in writing your book. I currently have roughly, I think, 18 slots left. And so the open enrollment for BIY will close January, I think it's around the 15th or so. So you have a little bit of time. I do understand that many of us are currently finishing up our Christmas shopping. So, and that's okay. But I have authors who are saying, you know what, I'm not going to wait till after Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and I'm fixing to get my book started now. And guess what? Your girl is working. Okay. So don't get it twisted. Yes, I reserve the holidays to spend time with my family. But if you are ready to work, I'm ready to work with you. And I'm going to make the time for you so that we can go ahead and get your book started so that we can birth it in 6 months or less. Okay. And so again, if you're interested in writing a book, just schedule a clarity call with me, or you can go to my website and you can go ahead and invest. It's already there for you. You can go ahead and get started. And I'll be excited about it and ready to get started in working with you. And then we can schedule our first session so we can get you the information that you need. All right. All right. And then, you know what? It helps to not only have a coach who is dedicated to working with you and getting helping you birth what's inside of you, but it also is such a blessing to be able to connect with other believers in business who you can partner with, who you can be in prayer with, who will support you, much like they're doing on tonight, who will support you and encourage you on along the way. And so I am just so thankful to be able to connect with other believers in business. The women in Destiny University, they have my heart. I tell you the truth. Like, I love y'all so much. I'm so grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. I'm thankful for the love that you send my way, the support, the dedication, just your faithfulness. It just truly warms my heart. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you all so much. Y'all, join me tomorrow night because I'll be right back. I'm coming back on tomorrow night because I have another amazing author that we're going to be sharing with you. I love you all too. I love y'all too. And so we're going to be sharing another amazing author on tomorrow night. I'm excited about it. And so she's going to be coming on tomorrow night at about 7:30. So join me right here back tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. as we continue our Authors Day View. All right. All right. That's it, you guys. I appreciate your time. God bless you. God keep you. Once again, if you know someone who has a desire to be an author, share this out. Let them see that it can be done. And let them hear these amazing testimonies from these ladies. And also, before you go, again, if you want to get a copy of the books that were featured on tonight, the first one was Help Jay, I'm Afraid of the Dark by Miss Tarsha Champion. The second was Epiphany, The Journey to Finding the Real You by Miss Karen B. Robertson. And then finally, The Water is Trouble, Jump In, Breaking Out of Stagnation by Miss Zenene Humphrey-Davis. These books are amazing. I got, as you can see, I have my copy, and no, they did not give them to me. I bought them. Okay. So, because I believe in investing into my people. So, that said, get your copies tonight. BIYauthors.com. I'm going to put that again down at the bottom so that you can go on over and purchase your copies of the book. All right. God bless you all. God keep you. Thank you for joining me. See you all tomorrow night. Bye-bye.